Hello, welcome. What is good, everyone? Tone here, and today I want to take another look at Abalon here. Abalon just came out into full release from early access last week, so it felt like a fantastic time to dip back in and check out what the full game is all about. We did look at this about a week or two ago, and we took a look at the demo, and which had all the gameplay stuff was in there. We had a good time with that, and I did a pretty good overview of that. If you want to see a little bit more about this game, you can go check that out. Because I'll probably be going over that stuff a little bit faster now, so we can just check out some of the gameplay and the new stuff that's in the full version here. But yeah, we got Abalon here. So for people who do not know, this is like it's a roguelike tactics game with like deck building stuff going on. It's got a lot of like board game sort of elements, and it's got like a good dose of like polish and like game feel as far as like how good it feels just like to move your character around and play and stuff. So there's a lot of good stuff going for it. I think I do have a few frictions with some of the stuff in the game, but if that occurs, then we'll talk about it when we get through that stuff in the game. But overall, it's a pretty cool game, and I'm excited to check it out some more. So let me jump into a new game here. And so there's a battle mode where you like pre-construct a deck. At my understanding, I actually haven't played this yet, of 20 cards, and you just like have one like tactical scenario where you play another probably equivalent opponent. But then there's also adventure mode. This is kind of like the base game to me right now. This is like the roguelike style where you're building up your character and progressing as you work through the game. You're making decisions to build up your character over like a long period of time, and then you get to see those decisions and the things you've done, the consequences of those pay off as you're playing through. So this is what I really like. There's 3 chapters here that make us up a full campaign. It says they're about an hour per chapter, so they're saying the game's going to be about 3 hours. I haven't played this enough to get a feel for how long the game actually goes for, but we're going to dip into adventure here. And before I do get any further into this, I'll give my usual reminder that if you guys would like to support my channel and my other work, you can do so over at patreon.com/tonehack. You can find that link in the description below, so feel free to check that out if you would like. And we have a difficulty selection here. I have only played on hardcore, and that's because this is permadeath mode, which is the roguelike style of game that I really enjoy. These have lives and various degrees of like reloading past saves if you die or make mistakes. So I don't really know where the game is balanced, because when you do have these options, then the game may allow more variance into like unavoidable death kind of stuff. But even that I'm fine with in a game like this, and I think hardcore just gives me the experience that I like. This also does mean we have the hardest encounters and the highest enemy health. So it's probably not great for me learning the game on this, but that's just how I'm going to roll here with this game, just because I want the permadeath aspect. So we get to pick our summoner here. So summoner is your main character in this game. If we select someone, we can see their card here. Every summoner has like an attack ability and like passive abilities, and you have power and starting life. You get to pick a deck here. We'll look at more of the stats as we go on, and it looks like there are 20 summoners that you can get here. You have to like unlock them, so it's a lot of variety in your summoners. I think I'm gonna go with the Pyromancer. This is the one I've played the most since release. We checked out the Battle Mage and the demo. These guys are actually pretty similar because they're both got the Chaos magic type, and so I think that means they kind of lean into these cards a bit. Actually, what is your ability? You have Lunge, which I believe means you can attack on a diagonal, and Spell Block, which means they can block a spell. Damage spells get knocked back. So those are pretty cool things. But I'm going to run with the Pyromancer here. So we work with Chaos Magic, which is a lot of fire effects like Fireball, and Celestial, which I don't really know what this is. Celestial beings rose from the chaos, seeking purpose and establishing meaning with light, love, spirit, and dimension of time. Celestial users channel this energy to bestow strength and control time itself. Okay, I did see a lot of cards to that effect. We'd probably see them if we look at our deck customization. Okay, so all these are celestial effects. I actually didn't recognize this border when I was playing before, and didn't appreciate that. But yeah, like a lot of these do focus on like time and stuff. Some of them like remove your player or enemies from the field for the rest of the turn and then bring them back. explained as like a temporal effect, and then like you can affect speed and stuff like that. And then it looks like there's some angelic stuff, some like armor, divine stuff going on. So that's a cool mix there. So yeah, I'm going to roll with the Pyromancer here. So our full ability set here for the Pyromancer is firepower. Means that all of our fire damage is going to get +1, which is pretty good when we get some fire cards here. And then our abilities are Far Shot, which means we could attack anywhere on the field with this ranged attack, but we cannot move. It deals 2 fire damage and then 1 damage to surrounded units. A little baby fireball we get to shoot out there. What about our deck customization here? I think I'm going to take out that defensive card and then throw in like a big fireball or something. Actually, you know what? Without getting too deep into the strategy, I actually don't think I want to put any 3-cost cards in my deck yet. Because on the first turn of battle, if you go first, which is usually the case, you get 2 mana. And you get 3 on turns after that. So a lot of times if you have a 3-cost card in your starting hand, you cannot use it on your first turn. So do you have any good fire spells that have 2 cost? How about this? We'll take Dragon's Breath. Deal 3 fire damage to all units in a range 3 cone. Then we have Conflagration. Deal 2 fire damage to everything but adjacent allies. And then we have the Fire Elemental, which deals fire damage back to enemies when they are attacked. And this is something that we can summon. And this game, you are playing a summoner, so summoning is a big part of it. The game wants you to be summoning units. A lot of these cards that you can play summon units. I don't have a good feel on the balance yet of like how much summoning you do versus like casting direct spells, like how much of that you want in your build. If over time, if you're not summoning enough, if you kind of get screwed or whatnot. So that's something I'm eager to learn about as we continue. And so I've been playing random, and I think I ended up in the desert and harvest. It was a swampy area. These do get more difficulty as you go on. There's like a difficulty setting here. This one's 4 to 5 actually, so I guess it's not in order here. It mostly is. So I think we played the dungeon when we did the demo, so let's go check out the forest, which has the same difficulty here. This is the forests of Abalon are home to a wide variety of creatures that include animals, orcs, goblins, insectoids, and fearsome dragons. With many potential allies to recruit, this classic high fantasy environment is the perfect beginning to an epic adventure. Sounds like a good time. Let's do it. Alright, Chapter 1. Fantastic creatures and deadly enemies call this forest home. Somewhere in the mist, the first boss makes its den. Keep your wits about you. Help your summoner explore and battle by building a deck of magic, recruiting new team members, and finding lore to reveal the secrets of your enemy. Defeat the boss and achieve greatness together. We'll begin our adventure here. So the game is played on a map like this, and basically you want to explore, level up, and then beat the boss. So we can travel manually here. You do want to break all the boxes because they can have stuff in them. I see treasure here in the room below. I see another box. By the way, the boxes thing, that's kind of one of my like game design don'ts, at least for me as a player. The developer actually said, because I left that as feedback in my previous look at this game, that they were adding like an auto loot option for people who don't want to break all the boxes. But interestingly enough, these got added because players wanted more stuff to do while exploring and traveling. So it's, I think having like an auto loot option or something like that, or like just an option to turn that off for people who don't want that stuff, is a neat approach to have that, so you know, players of all preferences can enjoy the game. So that's kind of an interesting anecdote there. So we just got some gold. Let me get over here. Can I break these trees down? That's interesting. I haven't seen a map tile like this where it looks like I can't get to the whole map tile from the same direction. That's really interesting. It's almost like I have to approach from the bottom to get over this side, or destroy these trees somehow. But it doesn't look like I can do that. Yeah, it cannot be attacked. That is super interesting. That's the first time I've seen that. Alright, let's see what's in here. I guess it's an encounter because this didn't establish combat. This doesn't look like someone we want to talk to right away, so I'm going to ignore that. So that's something about this game is like each tile you move into has... Oh, it's a shop. Okay. Well, it says mercenary for hire. Well, let's just talk to him. A formidable looking warrior offers to join your adventure for 300 gold. Pay 300 to hire Damien the Warlock. We can inspect their cards. So like every unit has a card like this. You have your attack and your life down here. You have like a unit type down here, which matters sometimes. And then a cost. 4 cost units become what are known as guardians, and then you can have up to 2 of them that actually like travel alongside of you instead of being cards that you play, which is pretty cool. And they tend to be quite strong, especially early on. So getting a guardian early is really good. I had a dungeon where I didn't have like any opportunities to gain guardians until like quite a few combats in, and it was exceptionally difficult. So finding a guardian early is pretty good, but this guy wants money to join us, so we have to actually purchase this guy, and we don't have the gold. Let's take a look at their stat sheet real quick so we just get used to some of these stats. They have armor 2, so that absorbs 2 damage every turn. Not every attack or hit, but every turn that'll refresh. They have lunge, which means they can attack diagonally, which you normally cannot do, and sprint shot, which means you can move and then shoot, but only up to 3 spaces away, so limited range shot that you can move and shoot with. Which is to differentiate from the far shot we had, which you cannot move, but you can hit any range. It says they deal 2 fire damage in a 3x3 area. This guy's pretty cool. I think a lot of these feel a bit stronger than this. I guess you really want to take advantage of this sprint shot. This in particular is pretty good early on, and so having like some good AoE stuff is good for clearing out like a lot of the weak mobs that you find in a lot of the fights. So this guy looks pretty cool. He's very tanky. I like that. Being able to attack on diagonal is pretty good. They do 4 damage, so pretty good overall. If we get enough money soon, I would definitely recruit them. So every combat encounter you run into, you can actually retreat for free with like essentially no consequence. I'm not going to fight all these guys right now. These guys look dangerous, so I'm just going to retreat. And I do think like so far optimal play in this game seems to revolve around exploring every tile until you can't explore anything else without going into combat and then picking your combats. I do feel like... This is another mercenary. That is a fate encounter. So fate encounters are like luck encounters essentially. I'm going to not talk to this person because fate encounters can be skewed by putting dice into them. It's a pretty cool system. So we might want some more dice before doing that. Interesting, you guys probably just noticed a little freeze. It's actually the first time I've seen that in playing this game. I've probably played like 6 to 10 hours so far. There was just an update. I wonder if that had anything to do with it. Maybe there was just kind of loading thing. It's not something I've experienced that much, so I'm actually surprised to have seen that. Let's see. So we found a card in that barrel, a phoenix. It says flying, and downfall is an effect that applies when the unit dies. They return to our hand. So very phoenix thing, like ability there. Rebirth after death. So seems like a pretty cool unit. And then also on all these maps there are 12 lore tidbits that you can collect. I'm not going to go ahead and read these all right now for as we're just going through here. I want to show you guys everything else. But there's lore there, and you actually get a bonus, I believe, when you collect all of these. Okay, so this is a battle where I'm probably just going to take because this looks very easy. These are just like a bunch of 1-1 guys, like... So I can show you guys the combat a bit here. I'm not even going to use my cards here. So something about this game with the cards is that they go to your discard pile and they don't get shuffled back into your draw pile until you rest at a campsite, which is like a limited resource. And we don't even have a lot of cards right now, so to save our cards early seems to be a good strategy here. Because we could just play this right now. It would kill all these guys and we move on, but this may be stronger in another fight, and I think we can do this fight without even taking damage. So that's what I'm going to try and do. Every unit has a base movement of 3, and then they can attack orthogonally once they get to the end of that 3 movement. So none of these guys can hit me if I stand back here, so I'm just going to end my turn here. I wasn't able to shoot them with my range attack because I was in a really awkward position. Something you can actually do that maybe I would have benefited from in a bit of an exploit with the retreat system is I could have left here and then came back into this fight from the other side where I would have had a better view. And that actually would have left me in a better position than I'm leaving myself in now. But interestingly, this guy isn't going to be able to move and attack me, so I can go ahead and just hit this guy and then end my turn if I would like. But also bring the Phoenix out and let them die. So I think next turn I'm going to take damage. Or in 2 turns. Because I want to play next turn attacking one of these guys, and then... Yeah, so I do need to get a card out if I do want to take 0 damage. I think we can actually get the Phoenix back into our hand. There are counterattacks, so... Oh, my Phoenix didn't get counterattacked. I actually don't know why. Because usually they counterattack even when they die, from my experience. Alright, well, I'm going to end the turn here. I think I actually want the Phoenix to die. Because then they go back into my hand. Why? Just move, dude. There we go. Then let me back this guy up. Actually, there's an undo button here, so you can move quite freely. These don't have lunge, so this guy actually has a really long way to walk if he wants to get to me. So I'm going to end my turn here. I'm going to let the Phoenix die. Actually, that's not going to happen because of the counterattack. I forgot about that. Okay, well I didn't get to experiment with that. So the Phoenix is in my discard pile. Whoops. Alright, we got a key here. We got one of our Dice of Fate. Using those Fate encounters. I'm going to wait till I get a few of those before engaging in a Fate encounter. I got a little bit of gold here, so we're a little bit closer to hiring a mercenary. And yeah, on the map here, you can see all the keys and all of the lore things. So you can kind of also figure out like where you want to move through that. See over here. This is another very easy fight. These guys might move further, no? So I'm just going to kill these guys as well. I don't see why I wouldn't. Easy. There is a score, and if you care about score, you want to clear the maps or the fights faster. I believe that's one of the ways you get more score. So in that case, you might want to be playing your cards. Look at the dice. I think every 3 rooms or so, it's supposed to drop a heart, and that gives you max health. So even if we run into a fight that is like looks pretty difficult, we might want to come back when we have higher max health and we have a better shot at dealing with them. So that's something to do while you're exploring in this game as well. So something I noticed when I was playing is because cards you pick up go directly to your deck, I found that I often don't want to pick up cards when I'm playing this game, if I can help it. And then I pick them up right before I go to a rest at a campsite, which is when you can edit your deck. Just because this is 1 card and we will go pick this up. If this is a bad card, then I just made my deck worse for like the next few fights until I rested at campsite. And it has a heal on it. This card does look like one I probably don't want in my deck. But this early, we only had 3 cards. They weren't particularly good ones, probably. I think adding anything to our deck is fine. So I don't mind early, but later on I find I skip a lot of the card upgrades and then grab them all before resting at a campfire, which is a little tedious. It's probably one of the weirder things I've experienced with how this like game is set up. And one thing that I find really, I guess, annoying with that is that I have to remember where the cards are. There isn't an icon for that. So I do kind of wish that the game had either told you where the icons were, or even better, when you pick up a card, if it asked if you wanted it to go into your deck or not, I think would be a really big quality of life thing. I don't even think it would make the game that much harder, or easier, but it does give you a little bit of an advantage. I think it's mostly quality of life though. Almost missed another lore tidbit there. Got a little extra gold, very nice. What is this one? Fate Encounter. Traveling High Rollers. Oh yeah, this was... I haven't messed with these guys yet. But they say Welcome to the Dice Mistress's Traveling High Rollers game where you roll the dice to earn amazing prizes. Rules: you can't see the odds in advance. You can't increase your odds by spending, or you can increase your odds by spending dice. You cost of play increases by 100 gold each time, and you're guaranteed to win something. Oh, I didn't notice that rule. So this is some kind of gamble thing. I haven't had enough money to actually do it yet, so maybe we'll get to check that out if I get some more money here. I'm probably not going to gamble before getting allies first, though, so we're going to have to find a lot more gold. Alright, so this is our first campfire. It takes 5 marshmallows to rest at a camp. I'm just going to... You can take the marshmallows of your camp already starts with them, and then you can use them at a different camp if you want. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. We got more lore. We got some dice there. More dice. And we'll rest eventually, but there's not much of a benefit for us resting right now. Alright, we have some snakes here. I could kill them all with conflagration. I could summon a fire elemental. I think I'm going to ignore this fight for now. And keep exploring. We could take that fight. I'm wondering if there's a way we could do it without using any cards. Which I think we can if we gain another ally. Like I said, there's little advantage to going into a fight instead of exploring, in my experience. On the desert map, one of the tiles did give me a penalty for exploring. There was like a weather effect. And it applied like a heat wave, and it said for every amount explored that I was going to take damage. So that gave me a penalty for exploring before taking fights. So it does happen in some places, and maybe on the higher difficulty maps or on the deeper floors, even on the lower difficulty maps, those weather effects become more of an issue. So there's a big chest. We can use our silver key on it. We may as well see what's inside. We found an anti-freeze potion. So this is a satchel card. We actually haven't talked about the satchel deck. So you also have a satchel deck in addition to your standard deck. These are basically consumables that you can use at any time, and they're one-time use. So this gives you immunity to freeze until end of battle. Those are also probably things that I will constantly forget about as we play. And I don't know what this is. Oh, we get to pick a card. Alright, so fire damage is always good for us because we have an inherent bonus to the damage we deal with fire, so this would do 5 damage. What is this? Red Starling, a flying unit. Other allies get +1/+1. That's pretty cool. I think I'm still going to avoid the 3-cost cards for the moment. It might be a little too early for that. I like conflagration. Just do damage to everything. We don't have a lot of allies yet. It's a good opener. The Starling honestly seems decent. It's cheap to play. It buffs everyone else. Got a little bit of tankiness at 3 health. So it can survive some like very low hits. Doesn't look like it's going to be like attacking much on its own though. Let's grab a conflagration here. Let's go check out this fate encounter. Another thing I may have glossed over is you can fast travel. One of the other anecdotes that I saw the developer talking about was that this game started as like a Slay the Spire style, or like FTL style, like node map, where you just went through, and then they added this whole like kind of overworld thing where you can walk around just to add some more flavor to it. But the game still functions a lot like that other style of map where you just kind of go from encounter to encounter without the intermediaries part. Which is kind of interesting. You know, this adds pacing. It adds a little bit of that feel that certain players might want, where they're like walking around and like really embodying their player and controlling them. But you know, for the people who kind of want to not mess with that, you can still just fast travel. So I think that's pretty cool. All right, let's see what this fate encounter is all about. We have a fellow adventurer. They're taking a moment to rest before continuing on their journey. With danger lurking around every corner, it would be safe to travel together. Did fate bring you together, or does this adventurer have other plans? So I avoided even talking to them before because I think some of these fate encounters make you roll right away. This one doesn't. But we can look at this guy and see if we want to bring them into our party. So they have 2 armor, double strike. I haven't seen that one before. Attacks this target twice, but they only do 2 damage. This is prevent 2 damage from attacks on surrounding ally units. Okay, so this is a defender, very high health. Preventing 2 damage from attacks, that's pretty strong of a buff. Because that's even better than having armor, which only prevents once per turn. This sounds like on every attack, which sounds pretty strong. But overall, this guy feels a little weak to me. Unless you really just want him to tank and then buff your allies. But I think I want more like offense from my guardians. So I'm actually not even going to mess with this guy. We could try to join up with them. And then maybe once we find like more stuff later, we use someone else. But I'm going to save my fate dice right now, which we're probably going to need to bring them into our party. I could just roll the dice and just take a complete gamble to see if they join us. There's probably like a bad outcome to that as well, where maybe they, I don't know, they'll either will to fight them or they'll like steal our gold or something, who knows. Alright, let's continue checking out our the tiles here. Oh, one more thought on this guy though, but yeah, we'll come back to this guy later when I have more dice that I feel like worth spending, just in case there's a downside that's so bad that we want to throw a dice at it just to not, or to avoid the downside. Let's see, finding the perfect tree. Goblins are chopping down the forest to find the perfect Christmas tree. They don't actually know what that means. They just like chopping stuff. Heavily armed by their behavior, a treant is trying to... heavily alarmed by their behavior. A treant is trying to stop them. The goblins have now turned their axes against the treant, and it's about to get dicey. Help the treant, help the goblins, leave. I don't know what helping the goblins might do, but I'm guessing that we can get this guy on our team if we help the treant. One problem is I'm going to have a lot of trouble helping this treant when my main spell is a little fireball that will splash damage this guy. He's vulnerable to fire, so instead of taking 1 damage, he's going to take 3 additional. This guy has 5 knockback, which is pretty nuts. There's only a 2-cost card. This guy actually looks pretty good for a 2-cost card. I'm going to try and help the treant here. So if we roll poorly, they call for help and attack. If we roll okay, they attack, and if we roll great, they just run away. I'll throw 2 dice in this. Okay, they are going to call for help and attack. We rolled poorly. This actually seems okay because their help is rather weak. Oh, they got to go first. This treant is in trouble. Dang, I could have actually played Conflagration and killed everyone. Ooh, I can still do that. I think I'm going to do that to get out of this situation. The thing is, right now, this is going to do... Oh, this is going to do 3 damage to the treant. Unless I get adjacent to them, which I can't. This guy has 7 max health, so I can actually heal them with this. They'll have 7 health, and I can play Conflagration, which will kill all the goblins and bring the treant down to 1 health, because I'll take 3 from the card and then 1 from vulnerable. Oh wait, this only heals if they're a chaos ally, and this guy isn't. He has life, which is what this leaf is in the middle. Okay, so this treant is kind of screwed. I don't even know if I can kill enough goblins to guarantee... Oh wait, I can control this guy though. Hold up. I wish I could get him to walk away. This hits all those goblins. I don't think I can attack and move. No. I'm gonna do that. If I could get him to walk away, then I could just fry all of these goblins. It looks like to get him to walk away, I'm gonna have to kill one of them first, which may make it not worthwhile anyways. So I'm feeling... could do something like this. Actually do this. That guy dies. And then I can use the Dragon Breath. Is there a good option here where I don't play any cards, though? I can kill... Oh wait, no, I want to use my Far Shot. I guess I'm not allowed to use Far Shot on adjacent allies. It's always just going to attack. Looks like I can't even attack tiles without something to target on them. So I actually can't play Far Shot without hitting the Treant, which would kill them. So that's actually not an option. It's a shame. I can't... This is a tricky one. If I could kill something like the tree and out of there, I can even get a big Far Shot off that would hit like 3 of these guys and kill 3 goblins. But it just doesn't look like it's an option. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna use the Fire Breath. Then end my turn. I feel like there was a risk where one of the other of us could die depending on like who all the goblins attacked. There was just like too many left. Finding the perfect tree. Recognizing you are not one to be trifled with, the outmatched goblins scurry off to the forest. They kind of got burnt. I don't know about that. That's a little bit of a rewriting history in the favor of them. But hopefully they'll think twice about who to raise their axe to in the future. Grateful for your help, Treant pledges to join your adventure. Prospective party member. Yeah, I'm gonna bring this guy in. I like this guy. The fire vulnerability doesn't play that great with our deck because I have a lot of AoE fire, but they do a lot of damage. They have knockback. They have 7 health. It says they join our party as a loyal unit. Okay, this is new to me. Let me read what this says. Loyal units remain in your party after battle. When loyal units join you from events in the world, they remain in your party until they are defeated in battle. If a loyal unit is summoned by a card in your deck, it will return to the deck when resting at camp, or if it is defeated in battle. Oh, so this guy's actually being treated as a guardian. Even though I knew he wouldn't be a guardian because he only costs 2. Did I get his card? No, but it sounds like when we rest or when he's defeated, his card might go into our deck. That's pretty cool. So it persists between combat. This is another one where... See, my summoner is a bit weak here. This is a big battlefield. We have range to our advantage. So I am just going to... In my turn, I'm not even going to have the Treant move because none of these guys can reach us. I was hoping they might group up, which they did not. They still can't reach us, except for this guy, which I can blast. So I'm going to do that and end my turn. I'm just going to stand back and hit these guys at range. They hardly moved, so they're making this really easy for me. Victory. So our score could have been a lot better if we actually, hold on. It sounds like every combat has a par, like in golf. So I wonder if, as long as we were under 5 turns, if we met par, if our score would have been the same, whether we did in 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 turns. And it says we, at least at par, we would have gotten 147, and we ended up with 133, which doesn't seem like that much of a difference. I don't know what else contributes to score, but it seems like having like a good card for a harder fight might be better. We found the Celestial Shield, Surprise, which means the effect is hidden from your opponent until triggered, which I don't know how much that affects that opponent's AI, but opponents that use these cards, you know, we don't know what they're doing. But it says, prevent the next damage and gain 5 armor until the end of turn on target ally. So, nice defensive card there. Ooh, bunch of dice there. And a lore thing. Alright, let's see what's over here. Got another campsite. We probably do want to rest soon. I'm just gonna grab these marshmallows for now, though. More gold. We're building up that gold. Alright, I'm at the top of the map. This guy has 12 health. I'll just retreat for now. Not too scared of them, but no reason to fight them until we see what else is going on here. What the heck? The Goblin's birthday party. Goblins are gathering at a table. This is hilarious. I like how the juxtaposition of all the color all of a sudden. The goblins are gathered at a table in the forest clearing. There's a big cake sitting on the table. The goblins are wearing party hats and are too happily engaged with their singing to notice you. Off to the side, there's a pile of presents. We could steal the presents, join in singing happy birthday, or leave. Wow. Interesting. There is one stronger guy here, the birthday boy. That is funny. What, I'm curious. I want to wish this guy a happy birthday. Sensing something is off, they attack, or they welcome our addition to the chorus. Let's try to roll higher than 10. Nope. Wow, we are rolling really poorly. I'm even throwing in like a pretty reasonable amount of dice into this. I'm gonna die. Oh my god, it was just a birthday party. I was so innocent. Oops, oh that died. That ended really suddenly. I thought I was gonna get some kind of like end screen. I didn't realize that was, I wasn't trying to skip that. Well, that was a little foray into Abalon. I guess I died there pretty foolishly, but honestly, that was something where normally you leave, but I was really curious to see what happens with the birthday party. We didn't get, well, at least I got to see what one option did. I almost kind of wish like I knew what both options gave you ahead of time. I kind of like games that give you full information like that, but I know it's like a pretty strong design choice for games to surprise the players. That's something like in games like FTL. I never liked having no idea what like the consequence of what I was picking did. It was like it's basically a spoiler tax. Like if I played FTL like seriously, I would probably want to have like a wiki up so I actually knew what I was deciding on. If I was trying to like win every game or something. But I'm not playing Abalon like that right now. I'm just kind of taking it in and seeing what the things do. And I think this game with the map and how you move your character around, you can really play into the like narrative aspect of it if you're into that, and like just buy into the story of your character. And we just had a guy who doesn't like goblins that are killing trees, but likes birthday parties and would join goblins, but they don't always like other people joining the birthday parties apparently. But that is Abalon for now. I wanted to potentially make this like a multi-part thing where we try to play out more of a campaign. So it's a little unfortunate that one ended so quickly. But maybe next time I dip into this, I could skip a lot of the overview stuff and kind of just like really push through and maybe like see how far we can get into a run. But yep, that is Abalon for now. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I feel like that was a really good encapsulation about a lot of what's going on in the game. It's a cool game. I think a lot of people that watch my channel will enjoy it. But yeah, I'm going to leave this here for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Before I do leave, my usual reminder, check out the links in the description below. You can find my Patreon if you'd like to show some support there. Patreon.com/tonehack. You can find my Discord if you want to come and hang out in the community with me and everyone else there. It's a fun place, and there's some other links down there. But for now, I am out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Take it easy, everyone.